Hello, everyone. Welcome to Naturally Brown Woman. I'm Tammy Williams. Now, imagine living in a neighborhood with your two children and not having running water for years. This is a story of a beautiful lady who ran into some misfortune, and this is how Project Nehemiah stepped in to help her. Take a look.
It was like in 2012 when we had that really bad ice storm, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it had burst my pipes because before my pipes were leaking, but I was able to maintain. We could turn the water on and off. We were able to use the water, but when that main pipe burst, we couldn't use the water anymore. And it was a flood. Every time I turned on the water, it flooded my entire basement. The water was spicketing up towards the ceiling part, just ruining my basement. So I couldn't use the water anymore. And then I couldn't pay the water bill. I was already behind on that. But when that happened, I was totally unable to use the water. And I was making a small salary, only $12.50 an hour, part-time as a crossing guard. There was no way I was going to be able to afford to fix the house. My uncle tried to help me, and he sent a plumber out, and the plumber kind of took our money, really, because the guy never came back after my uncle paid the down payment. So I told him, don't do anything else. There's nothing we can do. I can't afford it. I don't know any way to get help. Bought buckets from Home Depot, put them outside, caught my water, and we were able to bring in 5 gallons at a time to flush the toilet. And like I didn't want to tell anyone, of course, it's embarrassing. Very embarrassing.
She didn't have water for 7 years. And I thought, we live in Atlanta. How could somebody in Atlanta not have water for 7 years? Now, I've done work in the mission fields and I've seen that kind of stuff overseas, but to see it here in the city of Atlanta.
And I went to my son's school. He was so embarrassed because I wasn't able to wash our clothes and bathe properly. So here I go. We have an odor. I knew I couldn't tell people at the time because my kids were small. They would have been taken away from me, and I wasn't going to allow that to happen. I could not have my kids taken away from me. I'd lost too much already. So we just kept the secret, and we kept living, and I kept working. And people think because you have a job, you can do things. But if you don't have enough money to cover expenses like this, there is no way. And then I lost my vision in 2017 to where I couldn't work fully anymore. And even as a crossing guard, I could not keep that job. I felt, and I'll be honest, I felt like a loser. I felt stupid because I felt like I should have been prepared for this. And so she put me in touch with the Nehemiah Project. And I am so grateful because then everything turned around. It was like I still didn't believe. I just did not believe this because we have been promised stuff before. I cannot believe within 30 days, everything had changed. I mean, I've got a brand new bathtub. I have a vanity. I have my dishwasher back. And I was like, wow, I could not believe it. People have no idea what that little bit does so much. I got gas back in the house, so we have hot water. We can actually go into our own bathroom and take our own bath. Nehemiah came in when it seems like the whole world had walked out. But they came in and they took over. I didn't have anything to worry about. They were here every day. The guys were working. They were so kind. They didn't comment on my house, and my house looks as trashy. Oh my gosh. But nobody said nothing to make me feel worse than I did. Everybody was kind, they were understanding, and they were so happy to help me.
Wow, can you imagine 7 years with no running water? Project Nehemiah is a program that's based out of Fairburn, Georgia. And I'm so happy to introduce to you the executive director, Ingrid Thompson. Welcome to Naturally Brown Woman.
Thank you, Tammy. It's a pleasure being with you.
Yeah, now tell me, Project Nehemiah has helped her. What was that situation like to you when you first found out about it?
Well, we were actually devastated. Just to give you a little background information, we had received a contract from the Department of Watershed Management to do home plumbing repairs, part of their water conservation program for low-income residents of the city of Atlanta. And this particular young lady, we did not have the money at the time. The contract that we initially had was a contract for $315,000. We had a maximum amount of money in which we could spend on the projects, but because her situation was so bad, I don't know if she heard of us from somewhere. Oh, the Department of Watershed actually had, her water was cut off, and they monitored through their Enquesta system, different people's bills. And so she had called and they referred her to us. At the time, we didn't have enough money, but we got a later contract for $1.2 million. We were able to provide her with the plumbing repair that she had, and she was very embarrassed because she had 2 children. She had not been with water. I believe she was married, divorced. She owned her home, but she did not have enough money to get her pipes that burst one winter. Her pipes burst. She wasn't able to get enough money to get them fixed. And so that's when she came to us. And we were able to go in and to fix her broken pipes, to take out the lead pipes, to fix all of the plumbing issues that she had, which were major, which you saw in the video. And so we were just over the top, because to be in the city of Atlanta, as I mentioned in the video, and not having water was just unknown. And it wasn't that we could not provide the assistance for her, or the city wouldn't provide. She was too ashamed to tell anybody. And so we have so many people that are like that, maybe not living without water for 7 years, but living without water for sometimes 2, 3, 4 years, because they don't have the money to fix the repairs that are needed. And so as a result, they either go to the street and turn that water off, or they get the city to turn the water off.
Yeah, that's amazing to see a story like that, and knowing that there are more people out there who, like you said, they own their homes, they own them, but just don't have enough income to take care of some of those repairs. And some of those homes have been in their families for a long time. Case in point of the other gentleman who had some flooring and plumbing problems, and you guys also stepped in to assist him as well. In fact, let's take a look at that video as well.
This house was built in 1928. The water wouldn't flow through the pipes. Galvanized pipes stopped up with rust. I mean, it was working fine at one time. Then one of the pipes under the house had just broke. It broke. So I tried to fix it with a rubber hose. It lasted for a minute, and then eventually it went out. When all the water that you run from here upstairs would run in the bottom of the basement.
In Atlanta, a lot of the older homes, we have to face the whole issue with the galvanized pipes, lead coming through those pipes. Those pipes, when they bust, it ruins their whole house.
It was a big hole, and the whole floor was out. We couldn't go no further than here and back that way.
We couldn't even get anybody to go into the bathroom to give us an adequate quote, because his floors were caving in, and so they couldn't really get in to give us the quotes that they needed.
I had a pump down there, but it wasn't that much, so we just stopped. So we started catching it in a pan or something.
So you had no water in the kitchen sink, the
No.
bathroom,
No.
basically no running water in the house.
We had to run water and catch it in a pan or something, to wash dishes and bathe and all that, We had to almost settle for it because the money wasn't coming in. Well, Nehemiah Project, and they came out and they went on and, did the work for me.
So we had offered to give him a hotel room. Javier had offered to get him in a hotel room because they needed to be out of the house because their bathroom would be dysfunctional. He didn't want to leave his home. But Javier went down into the basement. He connected a shower, a sink, and a toilet so his family could have a place to bathe and to use the restroom. That just touched our heart. We were like, who does that?
It was like I hit the lottery. Didn't take long. He did all that, man, just like it never happened. I want to thank him because, like I said, without them, I wouldn't know what I would have did. And that's the truth.
It's amazing how you have other some partners, some plumbers and people like that who have just kind of stepped in like this case and just have gone over and above to really help, to reach out and help. Now you've been working this being your executive director since 2016. How many of these cases have come across your desk?
So we've had a multitude of cases. We not only do the Department of Watershed Management, but we also have a contract, or had a contract at the time, still waiting on our contract to be renewed with the City of Atlanta under the HUD program, and that's major systems. So that's your roofing, that's inclusive of plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and carpentry. And there are so many people that are living, elderly people, that's our main target market, that are living with tarps on their roofs, that are living with things that are rigged in their houses that can cause electrical fires. And so there are so many people that we have come across over the last couple of years. And under the Department of Watershed Management, we have to date served about 250 clients. Out of that 250, probably maybe 75 have to connect them to the sewer system with the city, to remove sewage from their basements where they couldn't use the bathroom because all of their sewage was going into the crawl space. We've had so many different instances of people that have had so many challenges with homeowners. And these are people that worked, they may have been in some kind of service area when they were not retired, but for whatever reason didn't have enough money to pay that $10,000 water bill. We are so grateful for the Department of Watershed Management for giving us the opportunity to be able to do those major plumbing repairs up to $10,000 in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And even you mentioned sewage in the basement and sewage that's spilling over, and people just not aware that the buildup is in their homes. And we're going to show some photos now of just some of those things that you've seen. So what pulled you guys into this particular area? Because I know you do a lot of service work. But what's in dealing with seniors in this area? What drew you to this?
And so initially, Nehemiah Project, we are a community development corporation. And what we do, we kind of service 4 different areas. Housing is one, economic development, health, and education. And so our home repair program is our biggest program, and initially started, it wasn't really specifically geared towards seniors, but it started back in 2000, somewhere around 2012, when a young lady who would come and volunteer for a home repair for the holidays. We would do senior yard work, repair, kind of help fix up their homes with volunteers only. She began to tell us that in the city of Atlanta, she was overwhelmed with projects, but she could not take on the projects that were in South Fulton. So she would come, we made a makeshift office for her in the academy. She would come on the weekends and do intake for some of the seniors that were in need. And as a result, the need got really huge. She was not able to kind of volunteer anymore. And one day I listened to the voicemail and I couldn't believe how many messages we had with seniors that were in need of help. From there, I just kind of was like, okay, Lord, what do you need us to do? And we ended up becoming a 501c3 so that we could receive funding. So we were incorporated, but we were not a nonprofit tax exempt organization to receive funding. So that's what we did in 2014. We became that, but I still wasn't really that much involved. Yvette is her name. She would do a lot of the intake and kind of get volunteers to go and help the seniors. But in 2016, it became overwhelming. And that's when I jumped in and began to raise money. And so one of the first doors of opportunity that opened was with Wells Fargo. And it was for a small grant that we received to do home repairs for seniors. As a result, it began to grow. The need was much greater. And what we did was we began to just apply under that because we had now had experience with senior home repair. And then the opportunity with the City of Atlanta Department of Watershed Management opened up to us, as well as the HUD grant, where we were doing major systems. And from there, it just kind of grew. And we've been able to provide, close to 400 since our inception, home repairs for low-income seniors.
That's powerful. How can people, assist you? Because I know the work is endless. There's so many needs out there. If someone wanted to donate or to give and to assist with Project Nehemiah, what would they do?
Well, they can visit our website. We have information on the different programs that we do, and they can donate on our website, on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. They can go there to donate. We need volunteers. The need is so great. We are currently under this pandemic. We have been given an opportunity to provide assistance, and we call it our housing affordability program under Housing for Nehemiah, where we're able to help people to avoid evictions. And so we have just currently run out of funds for that particular program, and it's really funded through Wells Fargo. It was a small grant where we can kind of go statewide in our funding, but we also receive funding from Clayton County to provide services for Clayton County residents for utilities and for assistance with their rent and their mortgage. And it has literally been overwhelming. I mean, we can barely keep up with the phone calls. And so to be able to have volunteers that come in to support us, however, whatever expertise they have, and to give, we really are in dire need of making sure that these people's needs are met. We can't do everything. A lot of the organizations that are around that are receiving the CARES Act funding to help people that are about to be evicted, they're overwhelmed. Everybody's overwhelmed. And so when people ask me, I always say, you know, if you can just give a little bit, if 10 people gave, you know, $100, that's enough to pay somebody's rent to keep a roof over their head. And so that seems to be the biggest need that we have right now. And if anybody wants to give towards that or to our home repair program, they can do so on our website.
Yeah, which is, give us your website again.
Our website is www.nehemiahprojectcdc.org.
Okay. Guys, please take a moment, visit the website, consider giving or sharing of your time, sharing of your resources to Project Nehemiah. The money is going into good hands of a group of people that can manage the projects and get it done. Ingrid, thank you so much for joining us on Naturally Brown Woman, and continue to do the great work that you're doing. And we wish you the best. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tammy.